Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
Okay. Yo, what's going on, fellas? All leaving live is a little late today. Stuff outside of my control. Hold on. What's going on in the background there? Hold on. Oh, man, you can have trash bags in the live side. What's going on here? I hope to never walk down that hall. Yo, look, man. Don't talk about my Cowboys. Don't do that. My Cowboys are just fine. Your Eagles, though. Your Eagles have a big problem. The coach. I don't know what's going on with y'all, man. But if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be turning in my stripes right now, man. I'd be turning in my team colors. I want a new team. Be a Pittsburgh fan. Be a Steelers fan. Who they drafting? We gonna draft Kyle Pitts. That's who we drafting. And if we don't draft Kyle Pitts, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, J.C. Horn, last NFC Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. But does it really matter now? Because you went from Super Bowl champs to falling off a cliff. That's kind of like, when the Florida Marlins won the World Series back in 97, and they went ahead and they just kind of like wholesaled and fire sailed the rest of the team the following year. And then back in 03, they did it again. That's what you guys feel like. So you won the Super Bowl and then fire sale, back to shit. Eagles holding on to, yeah. They got one, so, It's all right, man. Listen, it's been a while since the Cowboys seen a Super Bowl. That's all right. And it'll be a long time before you guys get back to one as well. A long time for those Eagle fans to feel that feeling again. The feeling that Nick Foles gave you. Not the feeling that old boy, what's his name, Carson Wentz. He didn't give you that good feeling. He gave you that, he's alright feeling. Like, I don't know where he at. So yeah, man. Yankees lost today, which was exciting to see. Shouts to my man Aaron Judge knocking in those 2 home runs, but took that nice L. Mets are in first place. What's gonna happen with the Denver Nuggets? That'll be a topic as well when Mike gets in here. Also, he wanted to touch on some other things outside of sports. We'll see how that goes. Feel free to tap in. Feel free to tap in whenever y'all want. It's definitely an open conversation. So anybody that wants to jump in, be able to jump in. John, of course I'm a troll because all you do is troll me. Every chance you get, you troll me. Every chance you get, you troll me, bro. Saying you talk bad about my Mets, you talk bad about my Cowboys, you talk bad about my Lakers. You just talk bad about every team that I love. So why wouldn't I troll you? Anytime I see the Yankees struggling, I'm gonna celebrate. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. Nuggets are done. Just signed Austin Rivers. They signed Austin Rivers? Really? Is that for real? I don't like Peterson. I don't think anybody in Queens likes Peterson. I think he's I don't know how good he is, honestly. I will tell you this, he has a big mouth. Big mouth. He's very confident. I mean, you need that out of your starting pitchers, but you don't have the skill to back it up. It's kind of like John Neese. Like John Neese had mouth and moxie, but John Neese was, you know, wasn't a great pitcher at all. Austin Rivers, that's not a bad pickup. I don't know if he's gonna play that much, but I guess because Jamal Murray, they have Morris, so I'm sure he'll get some run at point guard. But Austin Rivers ain't no point guard, man. Like he can't set anybody up. He's a scorer. He's always been a scorer, and I mean, I guess that'll be fine for what the Nuggets are looking for because Jamal Murray, he was an aggressive type of guy, an aggressive scorer. So, I could probably see how that would work. You know what I'm saying? Six, what's up, man? Jump in here. So, yeah, definitely. He played well with the Knicks and then fell off the mat. Well, honestly, John, they stopped playing him. They stopped playing him. He was hurt to start the season, kind of fell behind because of that. You know, Thibodeau already had his rotation. And for a guy that's a veteran that can't crack the rotation with a young team because Thibodeau's like that, he sticks to his guns. Now, I mean, you're a Bulls fan, you should know that. It was hard for him to be able to break through that. So, it was a good signing when I saw it, but the injury set him back. So if he gets a fair shot in Denver, he can definitely be a good dude off the bench. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they may have something. They definitely may have something. So we'll see. Definitely see. Let's see here. Realist Cowboy was good. Oh, there he is. This is what you get, Mike. Here you go. Here you go. Yo, how did this shit freeze, bro? Man, it's a terrible haircut. I haven't seen you in over a week, and that's what you present to me.
I think I look good.
Well,
I mean, I'm a little overweight, but
you think you look good, and that's fine. Like, listen, we have to have confidence. We have to be confident in ourselves. But
listen, you're not allowed to insult me right now.
But as my
Okay, Mr. Hour and a half late.
yeah, factors out of my control, man. It's been wild. I'll tell you that much.
It's what's been out of your control?
Me being late.
Yeah, why?
I'm not gonna get into that. I won't get into that.
I think I know why.
I don't think you know why.
You got no parental controls on that tablet, do you?
No.
Oh man.
So, you know.
So
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm tired.
Oh, you're tired. You're like 12. You're talking about tired.
12. I'm 12 times 2, by the way.
God.
That's my
You
age.
know what I
It's
was
12
doing?
times
You know
2.
what I was doing when I was 24 years old, Mike? Hmm? I was
You
out there.
were
First off, I was out there slinging it, and I never slept. Okay, go to the bar, go to the party, come in at 7 a.m. and then go to work by 8:30. That's what he's doing.
I'm
Then
not
do it
like that.
all over again. And
I'm
then
an old
talking
soul.
about tired. I didn't get tired until I was about 32. You know what I'm saying? 32.
I am an old soul.
Yeah, when you have kids, you're gonna age fast because
Yeah.
you're already
Listen,
lazy.
listen. We gotta be out of here in like an hour because I gotta be in bed by 8.
Jesus.
I'm kidding.
So so what do you want to talk about first?
It's your show. You keep asking me that. It's your show. Will you take
Because
some damn control, please?
I am a giving host. Okay? I would like to give you the first crack at a headline. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't try to
Well,
put this on me.
okay. Well, here's the I don't know. Do you want to get uncomfortable, or do you want to just stay nice and easy and breezy through this whole thing? No controversy, no nothing, or do you want to get
Being
into
un-
something that makes people want to, you know,
being
have a seat?
uncomfortable is what we need in this country. So I'm fine with it because I'm very comfortable in my skin.
Okay?
Shoot.
So am I.
So shoot.
So let's deal. You know what I'm
Okay,
talking
so
about.
bring up the topic.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Daunte Wright.
Daunte Wright. Your thoughts.
You know, I don't really know. I don't really know exactly what you know, how do I put it? I don't really think I have that strong of an opinion on this. I really don't. Um, because I think what happened is pretty obvious, and I think what should happen is relatively obvious. Um, listen, from what I know, from what I've seen, from the body cam footage, and you know what I've read, and all the commentary that we see, and everything like that. You know what it looked like to me is that the cop, you know, it was an accident. She made a really brutal mistake, like pretty much an inexcusable mistake for somebody that's had that much experience in law enforcement. And you know, obviously the result was something that was the worst possible scenario. And you know, the aftermath should be, you know, she shouldn't really be able to wear a badge, and she should probably spend some time in prison. And I'll be completely honest with you. I really don't think that this is. I don't really think that this should be an uncomfortable conversation. I really don't. Okay,
No.
to me, it's very, very easy to me. So listen, the only thing that would make this uncomfortable is if people thought race was involved, and that's what a lot of people think. So
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, listen, you can inject race into everything, but my biggest thing with this whole situation is that I didn't like the way the police chief handled it. Like I didn't like the fact that it always seems, no matter what the situation is it always feels like they're protecting the badge rather than just doing the right thing. and, putting her on administrative leave just to protect the pension, and then he then resigned, and then she resigned. It's just like, when are we going to stop that? When are we going to stop this? I have to protect everybody that wears the badge thing. I don't believe in that.
So
And you're starting to see that blue wall come down, especially in the Derek Chauvin case, that there's a lot of cops that don't like what he did. There's a lot of cops that are speaking out. And
sure.
that's just my side of it. I don't like that, because the way I've always looked at unions, I've looked at unions differently, right? Me and you are workers. We get up every day, bust our ass, right?
Yeah.
Put food on the table for our families and all that. Me and you ain't worried about a union, Mike. You know why? Because you're just going there and you're working. I always look at it as people who rely on unions are the ones that fuck up, are the ones that need help because they don't do their jobs correctly. They need protection. They need that blanket. They need that shield to protect them.
Yeah.
So regular cops don't, not what I mean by regular cops. I'm talking about guys who do their jobs, who are very thoughtful and, try to do it to the best of their ability. Obviously, there's going to be times where you're going to have to make a rash decision and things can happen. But for the most part, they don't have a bad reputation. I don't know enough about this lady, but I will tell you this. What bothers me about her situation is that it's the 26 years, Mike. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it's a long time.
For you to be on the job that long and to not know what side your firearm is on and what side your taser is on just shows me that you are a person that is very, very jumpy. And people who are jumpy, they will make bad decisions in times where they're supposed to be very, very calm. And my point is that I don't believe in defunding the police. I don't believe in getting rid of the police. What I believe in is getting people that actually want to be police officers. I believe that people like me, I don't particularly want to be a police officer. I will look at it like pension, be able to retire in 20 plus years, my kid will have security, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yeah. I am not looking at it from I want to help people. I'm looking at it from a profession. Anybody who gets into law enforcement for that is doing it for the wrong reasons. And most of the time, you see bad things happen because of people like that. That's my point. She's a person, I'm just going to use her as an example, is that I gave you the example on the phone, Mike, where I grew up in the hood. And, you see a lot of people on the street, see a lot of people doing drugs and selling drugs and all that stuff, and things are happening out there. And you got people, everybody was outside. I was a guy that was outside, but I wasn't really outside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I wasn't about that life. I knew that. I didn't want to be about that life. But you also had guys that pretended that they were about that life. But when things got hot, they realized real fast that ain't the life for them. Yeah. And I feel that law enforcement is kind of very similar, is that you have people out there that just think that it's just a job, and they don't ever think about it as, listen, I'm here to protect people and to keep myself safe and blah, blah, blah. It's just a job. And then when things go down, they're not really prepared to handle it mentally. So they make bad decisions. Like I'm telling you, I watched that body cam. Bro, that came off to me as somebody that's been on a job for a year. maybe less. You could, if somebody didn't tell me that she's been on the force for 26 years, there's no way I would have knew that by the way she reacted. That's a problem, Mike. That's probably somebody that's not built to be a cop, but she put in her 26 years because it's a job. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yes. So here's my thing with that. I think that you're right to a certain extent. I think that there needs to be a certain accountability when it comes to police officers. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And I think that the way in which they pick police officers is broken.
Yes.
Listen, because there are people
100%.
that finish at the top of their class in the academy and don't get picked because, they're, there's a legacy in there, and they pick somebody's kid instead of, picking the guy that actually deserves the job.
Yeah, that doesn't want to be a cop.
So
yeah.
Listen, and you know this, right? And I'm sure some people that know me understand this also. My fiance wants to be a cop also. And I tell her every day, listen, I am scared shitless because there really is no incentive, right? The pay isn't nearly good enough.
It's a thankless job.
You're going at it with absolutely zero rewards whatsoever. Everybody hates you, especially now. I mean, there's literally a war on police in today's society.
Yeah.
I'm like you're going to go every single day. You got to go out wondering if you're going to die that day just because somebody might hate you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think, there certainly is some dysfunction when it comes to the selection of police officers and then the accountability when people like that make a mistake. But here's my other thing, okay? I think it is incredibly easy, just like anything else, right? When it comes to doctors, when it comes to lawyers, when it comes to jobs that have, little to no room for error ever, right? I think it is so incredibly easy for us to sit here in a room and say it is unacceptable to make that mistake. Okay, in a time of distress like that, okay, and again, you also have to keep in mind that you're not just dealing with a situation that is super, super singular, okay? The Daunte Wright situation was not an individual situation, okay? Cops, when they are in encounters with Black people, right, you don't think that in every single, even if it's just a normal traffic stop, right? They're thinking in their head, listen, if something goes out of the ordinary here, okay, and I have to make a brash decision, I have to put in more factors than what I would have used to have needed to do, okay? Because if something does require lethal force or force to injure or something like that, I mean, their career could be over in a totally different way.
But Mike, but I will counter with this. When have we seen recently the goal to injure instead of kill, bro?
Well, here's the thing. I think that this time was a go to injure instead of kill, and it didn't turn out that way.
She shot him in the stomach,
again,
Mike.
What's that?
She shot him in the stomach.
Right. So would it have made it any better if
Yes, because here's the thing. Cops are trained center mass. That's how they're trained.
Yeah.
They are not trained to go for limbs. So when they say center mass, everything that's here is a vital organ. So you shoot anywhere that you can die. So that's what I'm saying. You release a bullet into this kid's stomach. That's it. That's still the same.
Do you think that she did in this instance? Do you think that she did that with the intent of killing him?
Why pull the gun then? If she thought that it was
because I think in that moment, right? In that moment, she's thinking because she's yelling taser, taser, taser the whole time.
Right.
And then afterward, you could hear the distress that she was in. I just shot him. I can't believe I just shot him. I mean, this woman is going to have to live with this for the rest. I don't think that she's a bad person or anything like that. Do I think that she should continue being a police officer? No, probably not.
Yeah, she gotta go up, Mike. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. She gotta go up. She gotta
But
go
let's
up.
be real about this, okay? This
She
is
gotta go
also
up.
a part of the conversation that we got to have, okay? In mistakes like this, okay? So whether it's something like this with a police officer, or whether it's medical malpractice or something like that, where a doctor screws up a surgery,
Yeah.
okay? If they've been doing this for forever, okay, and they make one mistake and it tragically ends in something like this, does that mean that they deserve to lose everything?
But in I will answer that. I would say no. But here's my counter to that. What about the black kids that end up being in the wrong place at the wrong time and then go to jail for life? They've never had
Nor should they.
they've never had
And you're
any
seeing a
warrants.
lot of
Right.
right,
They've
and
never
you're
had
seeing
any
a lot
warrants.
of those people being released.
Not all of them, though, Mike.
Right, not all of them, but
for the
what do you expect?
thousands,
All of them to get released at once?
No, I'm just saying, for the thousands of them that are getting released, there's still people on death row that have never done anything. On death row.
Sure. There certainly are.
That's our society. Everything is broken. Not just the police system. Our judicial system is broken. Our education system is broken. Everything is broken here. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to even think about changing, we may end up having to tear the entire thing down, bro. And I'm not just talking about the police department. I'm talking about everything. But we can't, in hindsight, we can't do that in reality, right? You have to build. You have to, find ways to patch and plug. That's what we do. Reform is all about patching and plugging. It's not about really revamping the entire system.
Okay, so there's a comment in here that I think is really important. Okay, the Metropolitan Report says in the comments, police reform needs to happen, but it's wishful thinking at this point.
I agree.
Okay, so here's my question, because I think a lot of people say that, right? Like in sports, Barry, you and I know this. In order for people to sound smarter, and I'm not saying that this person's doing what I'm saying, but in order to sound smarter, they say terms that they don't necessarily understand. Right.
Okay.
So like in football, somebody will say, oh, this guy fits this coach's system. Do you even know what that coach's system is? Like, do you even know why he fits that system?
Yeah.
Or are you just saying that because you want to sound good? Right? Like, that's why I disagree with Mac Jones going to the 49ers. But that's, again, neither here nor there.
I agree with you.
So yeah, you're crazy. We're going to talk about that later. What does police reform mean to you?
Police reform to me means that training needs to be different. That's one. Training needs to be different. I think that they need to stay in the academy a little longer. That's just my opinion. I think the academy is 6 months, maybe less.
I think so. I think so.
So 6 months.
Again, don't quote me. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't quote me.
I'm not taking a shot as if I know what it means and you don't. What I'm saying is it's a term that gets tossed around, and I'm not sure anybody really knows what exactly that means.
Right. So my this is just my way of looking at police reform. This is my plan. Extend the training. I believe that they need more training. I don't
disagree.
I think sensitivity training is needed. They need to be able to revamp that and find a way to give them classes. Maybe they need refresher courses every month. They also need to really, really invest in close quarter combat. I really, truly believe that police officers need to learn how to fight. They need to learn
fight.
They need to learn how to fight, because if they learn that, they no longer need a dangerous weapon, is what I'm saying. They are now the weapon where they can be able to subdue somebody without the use of deadly force.
Well, I don't know if that
Wait.
necessarily should mean.
Let me go ahead and
Okay.
finish, and then you can be able
All
to
right.
interject.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm not saying to take away their guns.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying. You
Okay.
still need
Okay.
your firearms. But what I'm saying is that you see a lot of instances where these cops are being manhandled. They're being dragged. They need help. It's like, no, you need better training, because I can guarantee you, Mike, if that was a person that was in the military and they're going hand to hand with somebody, who do you think is going to have the upper hand? A civilian or somebody that has military training? That's my point, is that people in the military are taught close quarter combat, as well as they have the ability to use their weapons.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So if
I don't disagree. I think that's all great ideas.
Into the police department, put money into the actual people to give them skills that they can use on the street.
Yes.
Because they don't have any. I'm telling you right now, growing up in the hood, most of these cops can't run, they can't fight. So now they're at a disadvantage where they
Get
need
a lot of fat cops.
Yeah, they need backup. They need 4 or 5 squad cars just to subdue some one guy. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's really bullshit.
No, I agree. I agree. I think
so in this instance with this poor kid, he's 20 years old. He wasn't a big guy. It wasn't like he was 350, 6'3". He's a skinny kid. And you're talking, and how many cops was out there? 4?
Yeah.
And they
it shouldn't have taken that many.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they had close quarter combat skills, that would have been situated, handled, and if he had a bench warrant, they'd have been able to put him in, got that situated, and got him out.
Yeah.
But that's my problem, is that, and then also too, there needs to be, I think IAB needs to be way bigger than they are. When I mean IAB, I'm talking about internal affairs. I think that they need to really assess, not saying that they don't, but I think that, I don't know how to word this, but they may need a department or a line where cops feel uncomfortable. They can be able to say, hey, listen, this is what's going on here. I want to be anonymous. I don't want this going out, but there's some bad things that are going on here, and I need internal affairs to come in here and investigate this, because I love my job. I love what I do. I feel like my job is, I feel like my life is at risk because of there's other people here that are not doing the right thing. I think if there was an outlet for cops to do that anonymously, I think internal affairs would have a bigger job. They'll be able to get these things in order and have better structures in place. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's things that they can be able to do these things now. And I don't want, that's what I'm saying. I want the blue wall to come down. You can be able to support your fellow officers. You can be able to, have their backs and do that stuff. But wrong is wrong, bro. Wrong is wrong.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think you're wrong on any of that. I think all of those are really good ideas that should be explored. I'm full disclosure. I think you described a lot of really good stuff right there. The other thing, though, is that, and I do think that we need to have this conversation, and I don't want this to come off as blame, because it's not blame, okay? And I don't think it's blame really in any case, because I think in each individual case is different, and you know how much of a believer I am in treating it individually.
There's some questions in there, I guess. We can get to that after. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, we can get into this laundry list of questions in here. Jesus. For Ken, Barry, are we allowed to have the conversation now? Okay. People, not just black people, okay? People need to stop running from cops. They gotta stop, dude. Because that, again, I'm not saying that's the reason you're in trouble. What I'm saying is that definitely increases the likelihood of you being in trouble.
All right, but here's my counter to that, right? And let's just talk about Daunte Wright for a second. The kid was scared, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Scared.
Listen, he had an open arrest warrant.
Right.
And he didn't want to get arrested.
For some bullshit. I'll tell you that right now. For some bullshit. It was $81 on a weed charge. It was nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they handled it, you would think that this kid had guns and all. Like, so, all right, here's my thing. I understand your sentiment about everybody shouldn't run from the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that people are scared. It's always been that way because somebody may have had an experience with a cop. Cop was too overzealous, hurt somebody that you know, and now you have a fear of the police, right? People's fear of the police don't just come. You're not born with it. It's your experiences or what you've heard or what you've seen on TV. That's what you personalize that. And now when it happens to you, whether it be on a minute level or on a grander scale, you are going to react the same way those people reacted or what you saw on TV. The problem is that for a kid like Daunte Wright, if he's running,
Daunte Wright.
Daunte Wright. I'm sorry for messing up his name. I'm long day. Daunte Wright. For him to feel like he has to run, and they already know that they have this warrant on him, right? They've already ran his tags, right?
Yep.
Already ran his tags. If he's a nonviolent criminal and he runs, right? Mm-hmm. You have his tags, which means that you can be able to go get him at a later date because he's not a concern right now. Would you agree with that?
Not always.
I'm just talking about in this situation. If somebody's already in their car and they're trying to flee off, let them go.
I don't agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Then they're going to keep doing it.
What I'm saying is that you can be able, if you try to apprehend them more than once and they flee, okay, cool. Now you got to go bring more people to them and go get them. But what I'm saying is that every time I see somebody fleeing, Mike, they end up dead or paralyzed. That's like, yes, the action is causing that, but why does it have to be that response is what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Yes, it's wrong to run, but why I got to get shot for it? I'm not in jail. I'm not in the prison yard where I'm trying to run off and scale the fence where the dude in the tower has to snipe me down. I'm on the street. You don't have to shoot me.
But you can't just let him go.
I understand. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that you're going to let them go and just, we're not going to worry about this guy anymore. If he flees, if he gets away from you guys, then now you gotta go ahead and go after him. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't need to end that way, bro.
Of course it doesn't.
But what I'm saying is that it's always ending that way from what we're seeing. There's never a happy ending, bro.
But see, here's the thing. And again, this is entering an entirely different conversation. I don't think it's always ending that way.
I'm just saying what we're seeing.
When it does end that way, it obviously gets inflated. But when it doesn't end that way, you don't hear about it at all.
Of course not. But that's with everything, though, Mike.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But that doesn't see. Again, I'm a full-blown believer that the worst experiences do not tell the entire details of the story. Okay, and I think any rational person would understand that. Listen. Okay, if I go on a cruise, okay, and this is my personal vendetta against cruises. I don't like them. I went on one and I don't want to go on one again. But any rational person, and I'm not a rational person, so any rational person would say, listen, the first cruise I went on, we were going through a storm. I was throwing up like crazy. So that means that all cruises suck. No, that doesn't mean that all cruises suck.
Somebody wants to come in here. Let's see what they have to say.
Okay. Who is it? Do we know?
Oh, that's my boy Ant. That's my boy Ant.
Okay.
And I sent you the. So let me know when you're coming in. Unless you got to update your phone.
I'll be 100% honest. I'm fully going into. So, since we're inviting somebody in here, I am fully expecting to get chewed out.
Well, I mean, listen, you're
listen, because I'm in the minority on these situations most of the time.
You're the Skip Bayless to my Shannon Sharp.
Right.
That's all it is. It's fine.
Right.
But like I said, I agree with you. Yo, Ant, you're gonna have to update your phone, bro. You gotta go into your Play Store, update it, and then you can come back in. And then we'll put you in. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't always end that way. You're right. It doesn't always end that way. It's not publicized when things go well because the police department is a thankless job. That's the thing. It's a thankless job. When you do right, they're saying that's what you're supposed to do. When you do wrong, so I understand from a cop standpoint that it's tough. I'm just saying that there has to be, you see, Metropolitan Report, I've never had a good interaction with cops. And I'm telling you, this is a guy who's well-spoken. He's not a thug. You know what I'm saying? Very articulate, very respectable, all of these things. And why should he have a negative interaction with cops? It's because of where we live. It's because of how we look. And, you know, if you're naive to this, Mike, in certain areas, some cops are trained to look at us as perps. All of us, not just some. And that's the problem. Is that somebody who dresses like me, you know, mid-30s, I still dress like a young boy, whatever that means. They'll look at me because I don't have a suit and tie on as a young punk. I'm a grown-ass man. But you've already put me in this category based on how I look.
Yeah.
It's a problem. That's always been a problem because at the end of the day, you might be a homicidal maniac, but because you don't dress the way I dress, they'll let you pass. Chill, John. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Mid-40s, come on, don't do that, man. I look young, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't disrespect me on my show. But you understand what I'm saying, Mike? Like, you can be a serial killer. They'll let you walk before me in certain areas.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? That's terrible. That needs to stop. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to disagree with you in saying that people shouldn't run. I agree with you. That it's a gray area for me. You know what I'm saying? In regards to like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, because how we react to things is all about fight or flight. You're either going to stay there and have an encounter, or you're going to be so scared that you have to run. Right? There's never anything else. So that's just human nature. So because that's our human nature, I think police officers need to adapt to that somehow. I am not saying that what I'm saying needs to be law, but bro, for me to, all right, let's just talk about Daunte Wright. The kid got a warrant based on a marijuana charge that he didn't pay the fine. This is not an aggressive person. This is not somebody who should be treated like that because of that type of warrant. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there should be levels to shit. Like, if you got a gun charge or people know you to have a gun and there's a warrant for your arrest because you have guns that you should not have, I understand the sensitivity and the heightened awareness that you should be as police officers. But for a 20-year-old kid that got a bench warrant for some weed, for you to behave that way with him, there should be a learning situation for a kid like that. Listen, man, talk to me about what's going on with this warrant. What the hell happened? Well, I had the charge, and COVID happened. I couldn't pay the fine. Okay, so we're gonna bring you in. Let's get this situated. Let's get this paperwork done. Let's get this fine paid, and let's get you out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah,
that could have been it. He's 20. He's a kid. Not all kids that look like Daunte Wright are criminals, even if they got a warrant for their arrest. But because we hear warrant, we automatically think that this is an armed individual that needs to be handled as such. That's bullshit. That needs to change.
Yeah, my only counter to that, my only thing is that when you're a cop, right, and you're in a situation like that, you obviously know going in, because you look the kid up, right? Like before you even go up to the car, you look the kid up. Right. That's what happens. It happens with everybody. They see your record. They say, this guy's getting a rep.
Before I just want to put that in. Carving Up podcast, my man Bryson Carver said Dylan Roof killed 9 people who prayed for him and got a burger. That's the whole point. It's like, things are just so imbalanced. But go ahead, Mike.
No, but and again, like I said, there are certain instances like that that need to be confronted, and I think, like I said, any rational person would understand that. Yeah. But again, if we're talking about in the I guess not even really. Cops are going into this, okay, because cops, when they get trained, get scared shitless, right? Like they're shown horror not movies, but they're shown
horror clips and all that shit.
Of like listen, just a regular traffic stop of some white guy who, like something happened or something like that. He just, and then they end up getting into a shootout, and the cop gets killed, and the guy goes away, right, and the guy drives away. You know what I mean? So like every cop, again, like I said, it's easy for us to sit here and just poke holes in everything, right? But every cop's got that going through his head. They're thinking of literally every possible scenario. Like, yeah, this kid is a 20-year-old kid with a really minor arrest warrant out for him. But listen, they don't know the kid personally, okay? The kid could be dealing for half the neighborhood and then got caught with this little thing. You know what I mean? Like, the girl that was in the car, they don't know that that's his girlfriend. The guy could be holding that girl hostage.
Right, Mike, but what I'm saying is that
they're thinking of every single scenario.
But there's no conversation to be had with the young man?
Not my point, right? Because there absolutely should be. But at the very same time, and I don't necessarily think that this is Daunte Wright's fault, okay?
It's not at all.
No, it's not. But we need, okay? There, in my eyes, there's literally zero justification or reason, okay, just other than fear, than to, because I like to play the probability game, right? If you run, you're in danger. And that's for anyone.
All right, Mike, okay? But what about the people that cooperate and are still in danger?
Then you have to fight those later. Okay?
But that's what we've been seeing. Like that,
what'd you say?
That's what we've been seeing, though.
Right. But whose fault is that? It's not yours. It's not mine. It's not the police officers. Okay? We get broadcast to us, okay, very select things in order to steer conversations a certain way, okay? Listen, Never in a million years should the message be for black people to run from cops. Ever. Because, listen, based on what we've seen, just like you've said, based on what we've seen, what we've been seeing, when has that ever worked out?
Right. But see, Metropolitan Report, George Floyd, Amadou Diallo, Eric Garner, they all didn't run.
No, you're right. They did.
They all tried to cooperate as best as they could, and they lost their. So there's no perfect formula here, Mike. Is that?
No, I'm not saying it's a perfect formula. What I'm saying is that it's a better formula than running. Does that make sense?
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think running is a terrible thing to do.
What do you think? All my point is, and again, let me a very simple question, honestly. Okay, because this is all my point is trying to make. Okay, do you think it is better for any person? Okay, what black, white doesn't matter. Okay, does it make sense more for the person to run from the cop or to try to cooperate the best they can? What do you think is the higher probability of them living through that situation?
Oh, no. I mean, listen, if we're just talking about it from a logical standpoint, Mike, of course it's going to be to sit there and reason with the cop and speak. From a logical standpoint.
That's all my point is.
That's it. Right. From a logical standpoint, we're approaching this from a logical standpoint. That is the answer. We do not live in a logical world. That's the sad part.
Mm-hmm.
Because experiences shape your perception of things. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said,
yes.
The cops are trained. They're showed these clips. So now they have this point of them. It's like, oh, bro, we got to watch out for this. We got to watch out for that. We got to watch out for this. So everybody, no matter if they approach you calmly or they approach you hostilely, they are all looked at the same way.
So I just want to react to what Metropolitan just said,
yeah.
and I really appreciate his input on this conversation. I think it's very valuable. In every situation, the officers have all of the power. No matter whether you comply or not, you still have a chance of coming out of that interaction deceased. Okay, my argument to that is because I think that that's true. I think that there are a lot of instances where that argument can be made.
Yeah.
Okay, the cop is thinking the same thing. The cop is thinking the same thing as, listen, this could be the traffic stop that ends my life.
All right, Mike, but the thing is, that's the job, though.
I agreed. But that doesn't mean that they're not allowed to be afraid.
I understand that, but they have to. I think what my thing is that I always compare it to the military. I just think that people in the military have much more like they're more calm, like they understand what they have to do better than regular cops. That's just my opinion. Whether it's true or not, I just feel that they're more disciplined. That's the word I was looking for. They're more disciplined. And I think cops need to get paid more. And I also think
I agree
that there should be more stricter training. Like I said, it needs to be more military based, because I think if you change the mindset of a lot of these police officers, things would be better. And also, Fan Podcast said something I was going to say. Certain little things, like people that are you know, they have mental health issues. You know, they might be bums on the street.
Right.
Young kids. There should be another division that handles those particular types of situations. Cops are in high stress. It's a high stress job. So even the smallest encounter, they're still on a 10 from the last encounter that they had maybe a week ago or a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that they need to have another division that can be able to handle those minor deals, those minor cases, those mental health patients that are out there and they need assistance. They need somebody to speak to them, or like I said, bums on the street, or somebody who's just like kind of having a big fit somewhere. Be able to de-escalate the situation before the cops can get called in. Listen, if you don't, we're trying to help you as best we can, but if it doesn't, if we can't get you there, then now we're gonna have to call the cops, and we don't want that. So come with us and make sure we'll get you the help that you need and put you in a situation that you got to be in. But for the cops to be called at every point when they're already stressed out and it leads to bad decisions, that's what needs to stop. That's what needs to stop. I see you having connection issues, so I'll wait for you. But yeah, man. I mean, that's the problem with this, is that there's no right answer, because it's so systemic. The problem is so deep rooted that there's no real fix for it, bro. There's really no de-escalation sensitivity, psychological training. Exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about before you got in here, Six, is that the training needs to be better. They need to have sensitivity training every month. They need to have close quarter combat training where they can be able to have hand-to-hand encounters with people without having the need to pull a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of seeing cops getting bullied by one guy, or, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Don't make sense. I got you, Jay. Yo, what's good, my man?
Hey, man, what's going on, man?
See, you already know what it is, man. On a Wednesday.
Nah, well, I was just about to say on the subject, like I said, it's the whole retraining. I think they just got to be retrained over a few years, because
Yeah, bro.
For instance, like I said, the lady been on there for 26 years. I'm pretty sure she didn't get retrained to none of the new rules and all that. You know what I mean? Because the rules and stuff are changing, so
Yeah.
got to just be retrained. I think every 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And also,
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I think, like I said, I was telling Mike before he got out of here, is that they need to have longer training, and it needs to be a little bit more military based.
absolutely.
I think they need more discipline. They need to find out who is actually going to do the job the way they need them to.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the military, obviously you got guys that go crazy and they pass the psych test, but most of the time they get the right guys.
Right.
They weed out those people that they know that don't want to be here.
Right. Absolutely.
For the police department, I don't think that that's a situation that happens a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they need to get also taught certain different things, like you said with the
Absolutely.
military. But every situation is going to be different. So
yeah,
you want to deal with, like you said, if somebody got mental issues, you want to be able and be trained to handle that person properly.
Right.
And not go force and think you know what I mean, they're against you when they actually have mental issues. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can be just
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and all that. So
yeah, because the thing is, a lot of these cops, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, growing up in the hood, us being black, like, I feel for my people, and I also feel for the people, white people, whoever who gets the brunt of the stick. But I also feel for the cops in a way too, because it's like, it's hard to do your job. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And they put in long hours. They're stressed out the roof, where they feel that every encounter may be their last.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's like there's definitely needs to be some other unit or group that de-escalates situations before the cops get called in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that needs to happen, bro. Like, it needs to happen. And I'm so, like what Mike was saying, what he said made sense. You know what I'm saying? In regards to, like, anytime you run from the cops, it's a bad thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've said that 100 times. Like, don't run. But at the same time, it's like the experiences that you either hear, you see, you've experienced yourself.
Right.
That shapes your identity. That shapes your perception. So
Absolutely.
if you got beat up by the cops a month ago and
Mhm.
you get pulled over again,
Right.
what do
See,
you think? What do you think is gonna be in your head? Y'all don't want to get beat up again.
right. Exactly.
So it's right. So it's either I'm gonna run or I might die.
Right. And like you said, the same thing go for the cops. They feeling that same way too.
Yeah. So it's a fucked up situation on both sides.
It is a fucked up situation. Just like
Yeah.
somebody, everybody wants to go home. Absolutely, that's 1,000%.
Right. Everybody wants to go home to their family. Like nobody wants to be in a pine box, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like, you know, going back to this lady, it's like when I watched that body cam, that looked like a person that was just fresh on the job, bro. That didn't look like to me somebody who was a seasoned vet. And it's just there's just so many systemic issues, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have the answers. There's not a lot of people that have the answers, and that's why the police departments around the country haven't had this blanket reform. Like you've had certain cities and certain states have some type of reform, but everybody's not doing it because what's the right approach?
Right.
Is it a universal system that needs to be in place for the United States?
Right.
Or are we gonna keep doing this by a state to state thing? Because if that's the case, then we're always going to have some chinks in the armor. We're always going to have some bad policies that are still in place. We're always going to have some bad seeds. There's no perfect solution to this shit, bro. But the one thing that I will say is that this whole defunding the police and getting rid of the police and all that shit, nah.
Like we said, I say retraining, like I said, every 5 years. Also the physical test and mental test, because you don't know, they're regular people as well. So you don't know what they went through or what they're going through at home. Like mess up mentally as well. So they take that out on the job.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
As they do, like, you know, I got my permit for my pistol, so they take, you know, like the tests and stuff like that. So I think they should do that, you know, annually for the cops and stuff like that. Like I said, they're human as well, and they go through things as well at home, and then they take it out on the, or they want to abuse the badge, you know what I'm saying, and all that. So I just think
six a million made a good point too.
Yeah.
Good shit, Six, that, you know, end qualified immunity. Absolutely. That's big. That's big. I'm telling you, like that blue wall needs to come down. Like, you know, cops need to feel safe at their jobs, and they just want to do their job. So there should be an outlet for them to be able to go somewhere and say, hey, listen, man, you know, there's some things going on here that I don't like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's some cops out there, some cops in this squad that's, you know, they not doing what they supposed to do. So you know, I need y'all to come in here and deal with it.
Right. And that's the sad part, because then they looking at, or they going against our brotherhood.
Right. Going against the fraternity.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Like, we're here to do a job, and like serve our people, and that's what it's supposed to be about at the end of the day. But they're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We should not be afraid to get pulled over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa, they shouldn't be afraid, because, like I said, all my experiences, they've been more aggressive to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me get this, and like, if you talk to me normally, all my stuff is good. I might, like you said, we might dress and look like we might be doing something, but hey, I got a regular 9 to 5 like everyone else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here just to do what I.
Hold on, Jay. Let me get this in. Bryson, you gotta update your Instagram. Once you update it, then I'll put you in here, bro. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when growing up in the hood, like being patted down by the cops and being asked where the gun's at, that's normal. That's normal. That's normal for me. That's not normal for Mike, where he grew up at. That's normal for me, though.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And because of that, that's messed up. Because there's a lot of kids out there that they're taught to run. You see the cops, you take off the other way. You know what I'm saying?
And it shouldn't be branded in our head. Like I said,
right.
I work and everything, but I'm still, you know, looking to the side to the cops, and I shouldn't be feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? And I get looked at differently. Like, You know, I work for transit down here, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm in my uniform or whatever, I get treated way differently than what I am now. And you should treat me the same way regardless, you know what I mean?
Right. It's you know, stereotypes and profiling, you know, all of those stuff are real, man. It's real. And
1,000%.
you know, I just I don't know what the answer is, bro. I really don't know what the answer is, but you know, seeing this kid get killed, bro, it bothered me so bad, son.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it felt like that was my little bro or something, son. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I could feel how scared he was.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure the other cops are scared as well because they're in a heightened sense of security and urgency and all that shit. But no, he's 20.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like any one of those people, I'm sure, had a little brother or a son that age. And it's like, yo, at some point, we got to start looking at each other like human beings, bro.
Absolutely. Right.
Like, yo, listen, I could talk to you and you can shoot me in the back after I finish a conversation. But I'm still gonna look at you as a human being, bro, first.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the whole sensitivity thing comes in, because it's like, yo, I think that if they were at a distance from this kid and they were speaking to him, yo, listen, I understand that you got a warrant, but listen, you know, we're not trying to do anything. You know, it's an arrest warrant. We have to take you in. We do not want to hurt you. If you want to call your parents, if you want to call somebody to be able to kind of talk you down and cool you out because you don't feel safe with us, speak to them. But just don't run. You know what I'm saying? Like, just talk to us. Like, I don't hear enough of that. And I'm sure it's out there. Because like Mike said, all the good deeds don't get reported because it's a thankless job. But all the bad shit gets reported. You feel me?
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, it takes one to just bring everything down. So it's like, you know, it's just heartbreaking, man.
All right, like you said, it's hard, man. And like you said, it's just a communication thing. Like you said, if the person go down there and they talk to you normally, you know what I mean? Like normal and calm. And like you said, oh, you know, we got this, you know, you want to handle it right now? Like, but we just want you to handle this, you know what I mean? We know it's only a little petty, little ticket. You know, as long as your license and everything is fine, we'll let you go on your way. But please, sir, make sure you play, you know what I mean? If the next time, you know, we might have to arrest you or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's up, Bryson?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Definitely.
What's up, bro? Chilling. It's a sensitive topic, man. So I know everybody has their 2 cents that they want to put in. So, you know, the floor is yours, my man.
There's kind of 2 things that were on my mind about it. You know, first of all, I remember reading during the George Floyd killing last year that it becoming a hairdresser takes longer than becoming a cop. Like the most dangerous thing you hold is a curling iron, as you know, as a hairdresser and as a cop, it's obviously a gun. And the second thing, and I kind of wanted both of y'all's thoughts on this, is, you know, we all saw the video where she's saying taser, 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 and of course pulls out the gun. And what obviously him dying was just obviously devastating. He's a 20-year-old kid basically. I think what obviously that, but the second most disheartening thing for me is we talk about we need to change training. And she was a trainer. So
you didn't know that?
I don't know. I'm kind of running out of answers as far as, like, you know.
Like, right. Like every time. You're right. I see your point. Like every time we suggest something or we're looking at something to change, the goalpost gets moved. Like, hey, this was a trainer. So this was a person that's telling people how to de-escalate a situation, and you make one of the gravest errors that anybody can ever make, which is very ironic.
I know that part.
The irony of it is ridiculous.
Just like
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just don't but if they were in training, like I said, I think the training that they have now, Bryson, is broken, right? I
Yes.
think the training needs to be, like I said before, it needs to be a little bit more like the military. They need a little bit more discipline in their training. So when they get out of training, they feel that basic training type of preparation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know, this is a serious job. It's a job, it's a career, whatever you want to call it, but this is a life and death situation, which means that you need to have the best people on your front lines to be able to know how to de-escalate situations and know how to be able to handle themselves in high pressure situations. I just feel that our military handles things a lot better than our police department when they
Absolutely.
Oh
both
yeah.
should be hand in hand. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, of
they,
course.
I'm not saying that they, you know, cops should be like military guys out there the way but they need to have that type of training because they need to understand how to be able to handle themselves. And you have to, and with that type of training system, you would be able to flush out the people who are just being police officers because they have 60 credits or whatever it is. They don't want to be cops, but it's a stable
The
job.
profession.
We don't want those people to be police officers.
Right.
Right.
We want people that actually want to help the community, who want to protect and serve, and who want to do right. We don't want those people that just look at this as a 9 to 5 and they don't understand what they're holding on their hip or what that badge means or what that uniform means when they walk down the street, how people look at them. They're not prepared for those encounters. And this is
Right.
why you're seeing a lot of incidents happen because these cops are very jumpy. Why? Because they've probably never held their firearm in regards to that type of situation.
Right.
And they're not built for it. I use the analogy of, you
That's
know, me
legal.
growing up in the hood, people in the street, and you know, you had guys out there selling drugs, playing ball, whatever it was. And you know, I was never out there like that. I knew people, but I knew I wasn't about that life. That wasn't a life for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even try to pretend like that. But you had dudes out there that pretended and went along with the Joneses. And when things got hot and heavy, they realized real fast this ain't the life for them.
Facts.
But at that situation, it's too late.
Right.
We need to be able to get these cops in that same mindset that you get into, okay, cool, you pass your exam. Now you're going to head into basic training. And this is not going to be like anything you've ever dealt with in your life. This is going to be real shit. And by the time that they're finished with that first month, you're going to see people say, you know what? I ain't fucking with this.
Right.
Like I can't do this. I didn't think that this is what it took to be a cop. That's what it needs to be. The best of the best need to be police officers. The psych test needs to be
No
different.
question.
Everything needs to change. And I think the biggest thing is the training. If it's more military based, if you train these officers to use their fucking hands to be able to subdue somebody without having to call 5 or 6 people just to take down one skinny kid or
Right.
one guy, that would help a
Right.
lot of situations. I'm telling you.
Well, it's kind of what you were using. That analogy is what happened in Kenosha. You
Yeah.
got three cops there. I would hope that I don't even know if it takes training. It's some of it just takes, common sense. It's 3-on-1.
Common sense ain't common, right?
Of course, yeah. That's the irony of that. But yeah, you've got 3 pretty large men right there on the scene to subdue one fairly skinny kid. It seems like.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Now, Bryson, what are your thoughts about, what Mike said about the fact that you run makes you more of a target for the officers? Like, are you with that same notion as well?
It definitely, I agree that it does put you in more of a target. Although I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be trained to not shoot somebody in the back. Like if someone's take off running, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to shoot them. And again, especially when it's somebody who's committed a non-violent crime, like not paying. What was the crime that he But there was the marijuana. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not. He didn't rob a bank. He didn't shoot somebody. It wasn't anything of that nature. It was, pretty minor crime. So I think when it comes to running away, I agree. You're probably in a better situation staying in the car, or staying there and trying to cooperate. But at the same time, I look at it and I say, yeah, George Floyd lost his life, and he didn't try to take off. Elijah McClain. Who else? There's so many. Eric Garner. I mean, it's like every solution you try to find, it's like you run into another roadblock.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's no definitive answer.
Right.
I call it Groundhog Year. That's what it just feels like. It's a different year, but it just feels the same. Like it's just always the same shit. It's just it's just sad, man. It really is sad. And just even watching the Derek Chauvin case, watching the defense have nothing. They literally have nothing to defend this man.
Nothing.
And if he ends up getting off, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm scared for this country if he gets off, because I know what's coming. John, like, we know what's coming, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? That would be the start of the war.
Absolutely.
And none of us want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, Bryson, in Tennessee, you're going to be dealing with that. And you don't need to be dealing with that. Your family doesn't need to be dealing with that, because you were raised with good people that gave you good values, that told you how things are and how you shouldn't act.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You then will be thrown into the fire because of how you look. Because maybe you have a cousin or a brother that works for the police department. You're now a target. We don't want to live in a world like that.
Not at all. No.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of our hope hangs on this case. A lot of our hope. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about everybody. Like, everybody who's ever had a bad encounter with the cops. Everybody who's ever lost a loved one to an encounter with the cops. Like, we're all like hanging on to this, because, bro, if this doesn't go the way it's supposed to, and how I've seen it, because I've watched every bit of this trial, there is no way that a jury can be able to look at this man after that weak-ass defense that he's gotten for 14 days and say, yeah, we're going to let him walk. Because my thing is, if I was the prosecutors, I'd have one picture always floating around that room. And it would be Derek Chauvin with his hands in his pockets, with his knee on George Floyd's neck, looking at that 17-year-old girl with her camera, her phone. That would be the picture that I show every day. That picture shows intent to harm.
Yes.
And the other part that is pretty comical to me is that they're all trained for CPR. So even if he was unresponsive, Derek Chauvin never showed the care or concern to even apply CPR.
Nothing.
Well, that was one of the defenses I saw yesterday that they had up on there. That one of the defenses, obviously in favor of Chauvin, was that Floyd wasn't complying, and so Chauvin was trying to help. It's like, we saw the video. Do you think we don't have eyes?
We have eyes.
Saw what happened.
Have ears. And bro, the thing to this day that still bothers me is the fact that Chauvin is on Floyd's neck. You got two other cops that are holding his arms.
Yep, you can't see in the video, right?
He's on his
behind
belly.
him.
All right.
Like, and this is the thing, and this is why I call bullshit with a lot of cops too, is that you hear the explanation, you hear the excuse. Oh, well, when we're out there, you know, everything is a threat. So if the guy is cuffed, he's still a threat. Well, yes, he can be able to kick and spit.
Your life's not on the line in that situation.
So you're afraid of me kicking you. So that means now I got to put you in a headlock and make sure that you go to sleep, or I got to pull my gun on my taser to subdue you because I'm scared you're going to kick me.
Right.
I'm scared you're going to spit on me.
Right. Just like you said, if I had his, you know, his knee on him, like after you know the situation is, you know, resolved and the person is kind, you let go. You know what I mean? Like you said,
yo,
you got
he's
cops over there.
cuffed. If they if they would have cuffed him, right? Cuffed him, sat him down on the floor, and he's trying to get up and he's running away.
Right.
Yo, he was saying the whole time, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. You know, I can't breathe, all of this stuff. And nobody listened.
Right, right.
Now, think about it from the spectator standpoint. You're watching somebody die in front of you. Like, you know, I've heard a lot of people have this stance where they say, yo, if I was there, you know, I would have pushed Derek.
Nobody would have did nothing.
You probably never seen nobody get killed in your life. Those people that all they could do was just stand there in shock.
Right, or shout
and watch this man die because you've never seen that.
It was a modern day lynching, is what it was.
Yeah, like it's easy to be able to be on your couch or your phone and say that you would have did this, but yo, seeing somebody's life expire in front of you, yo, those people will never get that image out of their head.
Absolutely.
No.
Ever.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's so many, I'm telling you, bro, like there's so many things riding on this. Like I remember being young when OJ was on trial and the world stopped, right?
He's in the classroom.
Yeah, man, like bro, the world stopped.
Yeah, the world stopped.
And
6th, 7th grade.
You know, when he got off, you know, there was a racial divide. There's always been a racial divide when it came to OJ. But when he got off, you know, the white people were so mad, and I understood. The black people were happy. They weren't happy for OJ. They were happy the fact that a black man got off. And it doesn't need to be like that anymore. Like we all are in the same boat. We are all hoping that we get the verdict that we want. White, Spanish, black, it doesn't matter who you are. We are all on the same side. And it needs to start to be like that more, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I think me and Mike wanted to do this, is because this is a conversation, like difficult conversations need to be had.
Absolutely.
All over the place.
Like you said, from all two different. You know
yeah, and
that's what I respected about the conversation for sure.
Yeah, that's why I love talking to Mike, because we come from different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like he's heavily conservative. I'm not. He's always, most of the time, he's in the minority in regards to his opinions. That's fine. But we can agree to disagree and still be friends at the end of the day. Still be able to have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I may end up doing these more now. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that we have the ability to have more people on the lives. Like maybe we need to open it up more and have more conversations like this instead of just keeping it to sports. Because at the end of the day, man, like we are so convenient to be able to stay within our bubble and talk about sports and talk about all the outlandish and crazy news topics about sports and Brady this and KD this and all of that stuff. But there's real life stuff going on.
Facts.
And, you know, I want to make it known that if anybody ever has a real life situation or topic that they want to discuss, come in here. You don't even have to ask me. Just came up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Love
saying?
it. These conversations are having had enough in America, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, it's really important. I'm not done. I'm about to go back there. I'm about to go downstairs. It's really important that we end up just having these more, man, because I watch so many things happen in this country, and it breaks my heart to see all the divide that's in this country. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No doubt.
you got people talking about, well, I don't really care. I don't really care about white people. I don't really care about this. I don't care about this. Asian people are dealing with this. Well, I don't really like. It's just like we gotta be better, man. We gotta be better. And I say it all the time in regards to people need to understand the history of this country
Right.
before we can be able to move forward and be better people. Like, I think a lot of our parents or a lot of our grandparents, they kind of just like turn the blind eye to, all the bad that's happened. Oh, we're not like that. Yeah, we are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We really are. We really are that type of people, and we need to address it. And once we address it, we can be able to move on and be better, man. So,
Yep.
Right.
yeah, man.
No.
It's
That's
good to
it.
have these conversations to, know more facts and get other people's perspective. You know what I mean? Because like,
Nah, definitely, bro. Definitely, bro.
Yes.
Definitely. That's
trainer, you know what I mean? Like, you learn stuff every day. You know what I mean? And as you grow up, you have to, or you're naive to not know what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you
Yep.
have to know something about what's going on. If not,
facts.
you're lost in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And a lot of times, you speak to people that, they just don't want to hear it.
Right.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to have the conversation. They feel uncomfortable. Here's the race thing again, or here's this. Like, yeah, here it is, because it's a real thing.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for you to turn your back on a situation because you're uncomfortable about it, or because you haven't educated yourself on it, that's fine. But listen to somebody who may have a little bit more information than you do, so you can learn something.
1000%.
So you can learn something. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's the thing. We don't get uncomfortable enough.
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we can allow life to get too comfortable, and
Right.
and eventually we're blinded to other people's experiences, in this country and just in life in general. So, no, I'm totally with you, man. These got to continue.
Yeah, Golf is Life said the only time I don't want to hear it is when a lot of people are uneducated. Listen, Golf is Life, I feel you. I understand that it could be frustrated, but even in that situation, having a conversation because you have more knowledge than somebody, that you're bringing a different perspective, you can be able to change somebody's opinion. Like, I've changed a ton of people's opinion based on my perspective on stuff. And there's a lot of times where they say, hey, I don't think you know what you're talking about, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have all the answers, but at least I can be able to give you my side of it, and then we can have a real grown-up conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, I think because of social media, because of we're so focused on, other stuff in our lives like sports or whatever it is, I think we've lost the ability to really speak to each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do this enough, where we're just talking to people and seeing what they think.
Amen
It's
to
more
that.
like, hey, the sky, I think the sky is blue today. Oh, no, it's light blue. Well, okay, let's have a conversation about it then. Well, what do you think? No, it's light blue, and the fact that you don't think it's light blue, you're an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Good or bad, man. Other conversation to have, and I'm not always afraid to have a conversation, even if, like you said, it could be sit and listen for a minute, and I might get educated on something. I might be like, whatever, but at least good from a conversation daily. You know what I mean?
Facts. Now, Bryson, like being out there in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any uncomfortable encounters with the police, or have you had any friends that have?
dealt with stuff like that? And if so, like, if you want to discuss, like, I would love to hear it.
I've never had a negative encounter with the police, thankfully. I'm sure there have been people in my life that have. I just haven't, talked to them personally about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from. Thankfully, I've never been in that situation.
Definitely. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, that was vague. That was a great explanation on my part. No, but I think what it comes down to, and you and Mike were talking about it, and I agree with both of you that when both sides understand each other, because like I saw one of the comments down here, I don't know who it was by, but man, everybody wants to go home to their families, and that's the common ground that both sides can have to it without a question.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it takes something like this, but I'll never forget. I was watching a documentary about it was something on ESPN. It was a documentary. It was actually with Cowboys fans, and it was covering like I think 5 families that had Cowboys season tickets. And I remember one guy, he sold what he did with his tickets, because this was right when the whole Kaepernick controversy was kind of coming up. What he did is he would have a black kid, probably around my age, and a cop, because it was him and his wife. He would have them go to the game together, and he'd pay for them to obviously go see the game, go out to eat afterwards or beforehand, and just they would have these one-on-one conversations about where they're coming from, their perspective, and I thought that was incredible. And I don't know, is the answer cops spending more time in the hood? Is it black kids spending more time with cops? Like, what do you think could be that thing that bridges the gap? Like, do you have any?
I think on that point, me and my friends have talked about that if you're going to have police officers in lower income communities, I think you need to have officers patrol those communities that look like them.
Sure.
Agree.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that if you do that, you now de-escalate it without it even getting to that point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously it's going to get, if you're still a cop, people still are going to look at you like, or whatever. But I think if they see this and they say like, yo, he looks like that, he came from the same streets that I did. So maybe this encounter won't be so rough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it will be different. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing the same police officers this every day on the same beat. They become a part of your community. They become a part of what the fabric is that holds that community together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I think that's a lot to do with it, because like I said, me growing up in Rosedale, Queens, I didn't see cops that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? It was more guys that looked like you, young white guys that were out there, patrolling and doing what they do, and then we're just looking at them like, and they're looking for trouble. You know what I'm saying? And then you'd see this group for a couple weeks or a couple days, and then there'd be 2 new white guys that come in, and then they'd sprinkle in a black guy a couple of times, but it was never consistent. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was never a situation where we're in the park and, neighborhood police, squad car comes up, parks, 2 black guys get out, they over here looking, they're on their break, and then they come play basketball with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never experienced nothing like that. If I was a cop, that's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? I would make sure that people saw me as an individual first, and as a cop second.
Right.
Yeah, that's Officer Grant over there. The cool dude. At the end of the day, he gonna do what he gotta do.
Right.
So I respect him.
That shouldn't matter the color though. That's the sad part.
But the sad part, it should not matter the color. John, you're right. But that's not like logically, logically that's true. But we live in an illogical world. And in order for us to get to where we want to be, maybe we have to play that line sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely got to play that line.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
But you're right though. But you're right.
Yeah, but the sad part was it's hard. It's even harder with these times now because, like, growing up as a young, kid, like, do you want to be a cop in these days and age right now?
Not at all.
I don't care what the race is at this moment.
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. No matter what it is, like if you tell your parents that you want to be a cop, they're talking you out of it.
Right?
You know
Like,
what
what? You know what I'm saying?
It's the,
That's the sad part, though.
and it's gonna take time for that image to change. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take time. Listen, cops been getting a bad name since the inception of cops. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always, like I said, it's always been a thankless job. We don't want it to. It's never going to be, hunky dory all the time. But man, they gotta be a bridge, man. Like I said, the people that have mental health issues and certain situations, I think the arrest warrants need to be different. I think if a kid, has a marijuana charge, which I don't even think should be in existence anymore because everybody's legalizing the shit. But you know what I'm saying? It's like different degrees of warrants should have a different response.
Yeah, it should.
Yes, no question.
Like, this kid should have not had an encounter with cops like this. It should have been people that can be more like guidance counselors or social workers that can be able to kind of talk them down and say, hey, listen, what happened? Like, why didn't you pay this fine? And, oh, yeah, what happened? COVID happened. Okay, well, we can be able to help you pay this without you getting any jail time. Like, there's a middleman, there's a buffer here. So this kid doesn't have to spend any time in jail or whatever it is. Like, it just, there's so many things that we can be able to just think about, bro. And, it's heartbreaking to know that I'm 35, I'm turning 36, and it's just the same old broken record. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same old broken record. And the older I get is the more cynical I become. Everybody wants to say, hey, one day it's going to change. Really? I'm technically a middle-aged man now. You know what I'm saying? Technically. Another 35 years, I'll be 70 years old. So I'm technically middle-aged. So, when is that going to change? When am I going to see people being more humane to each other and not treating each other like animals, bro? Like, I see dogs get treated better than people.
That's the key. Like you said, it's the person, the individual itself.
Yeah, it's about, and that's, like I said, and we definitely discussed it in regards to increasing the sensitivity training, like not once a year. I think cops need sensitivity training once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once every 2 weeks. I think a therapist for cops is needed. I think that's needed as well. I think it should be
a de-escalator.
I think it should be championed. I think it should be promoted more. That if you need to see somebody and speak about your experiences and you're uncomfortable, how uncomfortable you are in certain situations.
Right.
That needs to happen. It's like in our community, right, John? Like, it's like, for as long as I've been alive, it's always looked at as a weakness to seek help.
Right, absolutely, 1,000%.
Oh, yo, you gonna go see a shrink? What, you crazy? You're not, like, nah, get it together. Right. Listen, some people need new tools. I always use that analogy where, growing up, we have tools, right? We have our toolbox. When certain things happen and we get stressed out, we can be able to pick some stuff out of that toolbox and screw some stuff in, and we'll be all right. And then something else happens. You go back to that toolbox and you make some adjustments, and you all right. But there's certain times in your life where you go to that toolbox and nothing fucking works.
Nothing's there.
And you're like, okay, well, I've been doing this for the past 10 years, the same tools. This shit ain't working no more. What the hell do I do?
Right.
And in our community, it's like, oh, come on, man. Like, yo, just get it together. You weak. And then what happens? You have more suicides going up. You got more depression going up. You have, more domestic issues going around in the house because people don't know how to expel that pent up frustration and that depression.
Right,
If we, the narrative is starting to change now in regards to our people really championing going to get help. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's okay now.
Bryson, white people been on that therapist chain from jump. You know what I'm saying? And it's
right.
that I like that wall being broken down where
For sure
people are comfortable saying that, hey, I need new tools, man. Do you have anybody that I can be able to go to? You know what I'm saying? Because it's healthy. It's healthy to be able to speak to somebody, get that frustration out, and get a different perspective on life. Because we don't have all the answers. And even they don't have all the answers either. But what they do have is a different perspective. And what they do have are new tools that they can be able to give you.
That's the key.
And I think cops should have the same avenue as well.
Right, and that's what I said
Absolutely.
earlier. I said about, cops also have a life too. So whatever they might have their own, so they could bring that to us between dealing with the everyday of dealing with other people and their job. They definitely should be talking to a therapist, I would think, weekly.
Yes.
I mean, definitely. Tell me how your week went at home and on the job.
Exactly. Right. And that doesn't have to be in person. That could be, half hour to an hour on Zoom. It's just to talk and get these things out, man, because, like you said, John, like these are people too. And, when you're dealing in a high stress job, you just dealt with some gunfight last week, and now you're dealing with a misdemeanor situation. They're all the same thing in that situation. They're all the same because you're still dialed in. You're still in 1,000 from last week. So it's hard to kind of digress and decompress from week to week as an officer. So it's just like correction officers, right? Like it takes a certain person to be a correction officer. It really does, because you have to be comfortable being institutionalized.
Basically, yeah.
Because you are in there just as long as some of these inmates. And that's why you see a lot of these COs, they have that demeanor about them, that they have that institutionalized behavior, because you're in there with them. You have to behave a certain way. You got to make sure that you keep your guard up, because if you don't, something can happen to you. Those people need therapy. It's a lot of things that we kind of just shoo off to the side and say, you're supposed to deal with it. Nah.
It's
Well,
America.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's America. Like I said, between everything going on, and then now we have COVID and people was in the house for almost a year. Like mentally, it's gonna get to you.
Yeah, bro.
So it's okay to talk to somebody. And like I said, right now, it's definitely them times of, all the way up there. Like I said, home, work, like I said, COVID, dealing with death and all that. So it's definitely hard times, and definitely don't be afraid to ask for help and stuff like that.
And I think it's about, giving these cops an avenue to be able to release their frustration, release whatever's going on in their life.
Right.
I remember, I think in the bubble, LeBron might have brought something up about that. Like, if you got all this pent up frustration from your personal life and you take it out on, somebody else, if you take it out on the situation you're dealing with, it could have horrible, horrible consequences. And so, if you can minimize that, man, that would be huge.
Facts.
Exactly. That's what I said. They got, you want to have lives at home, and you don't want to bring that to the job. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's something that, and like I said, I like this because we have we have two different generations in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm young. I'm not young. I'm old. I'm old. But I'm youngish. I'm not old. And Bryson, you young. So you are actually, you're the future of this country. You know what I'm saying? How you think, how you behave, how you interact with people, you know, how you embrace different cultures, how you have difficult conversations, all of these things, like it's on your shoulders and kids like you to be able to push this forward. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you are at this age and you have that mindset already, like you're already set up for success, and we need more young people to be able to think that not like you, because, you know, life gets in the way and ambition gets in the way, goals get in the way. You know, everybody wants to be who they want to be, but at the same time, like, we have to take care of home base too. We got to take care of each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure that, you know, racism is not a thing 15 years from now. You know, we got to make sure that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, that people can be able to share their views with others without the need of feeling so tribalistic in regards to our politics and other stuff. And we also have to stop using social media as a demonstrative tool, because that's not what it's for. It's not what it was designed for. Social media was designed to make the world smaller, to be able to connect with people in different countries. And, you know, you have somebody in Saudi Arabia who may have the same likes as you, and you would have never known that had you not had social media. That's like what it was there for. Yep. So it's you know, like stuff like this, where we can be able to connect in different different areas of the world and still have a conversation and enjoy each other's conversation. Like, that's what it's for. It's not for all this negative bullshit that's being spewed out there all the time, man, because, you know, and the sad part is that it's not even a high percentage of social media that is negative. It's a very small percentage, but that's the percentage that people focus on. Absolutely. They're not focusing on the people that are making connections and, you know, seeing somebody struggle that doesn't have food, and they know where this person is, and hey, they're sending food over there. They go over there and surprise the person because, you know, they've been posting for the last 6 weeks that they don't have anything. Right. Those are the stories that I want to hear more of. Instead of people wasting their time, our athletes wasting their time worrying about what somebody says about them, or, like, you know, put your time to use. Now, I use Kevin Durant as an example because I'm very disappointed in him because of where he came from, the humble beginnings, and what he can be able to do to help people in the situation that he's in. Instead of engaging in back and forth with who said this about you and all, why don't you do more to help people? You can engage with people online in a positive way. You can be able to crack jokes in a positive way. No, everybody's not going to like you. Like, yo, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody in this sports world, and even I have trolls. Right. But you don't see. But you, nah, I ain't talking about you, John. I ain't talking about you, man. I ain't worried about you, man. You're very great. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to have people that love you. But it's your responsibility to rise above that. You know what I'm saying? Rise above that and be better, and not subject yourself, not lower yourself to those standards, because that's not doing anybody any good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the bigger your platform gets, the more people are going to like you and the more people are going to hate you. And I just don't, you know, I prefer to spread, you know, comedy and joy and, you know, discuss big topics like this. Like, that's what my page is about, man. Like, I'm into just always passing the good word. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't go to church. I don't, you know, I'm not heavily religious, but I'm always willing to listen to my fellow partner and hear what they have to say, and pass on a good word. And if they take it, they take it. If they don't, I've done my part. You know what I'm saying? So,
Did your part, like you said.
yeah.
Whether they
That's
listen
it.
or not, you went out the way and gave them that good word or that advice that they needed. They take it, like you said, at the end of the day. As long as you did your job, you know what I mean? That's all that matters, man.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. Like you said, though, everything, the bad gets outweighed the good. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
All the time, bro, and everything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the police department. I mean, not all cops are terrible. Not all police departments suck. It's just the little instances that happen where it's just like, oh my God.
Right.
It's
Sure.
it's the world we live in where the bad things just get exposed or highlighted, and all the good deeds just whatever. We don't care about that. That's not selling. That's not grabbing everybody's
Yeah.
attention, because at the end of the day, sad part is that we are animals at the end of the day, and we always have this bloodlust in regards to our entertainment. Going back to the gladiator days, going back to Mandingo fights, stuff like that, where it's like, we love NASCAR races because of the crashes, not the actual races. Or who's gonna crash today? It's like, that's how we are. And as time goes on, if we're not careful, we are going to get more extreme in regards to what we crave for our entertainment. Right now, what it is police brutality. That's our entertainment. Whether people want to, agree with that standpoint, we are hooked to the bad press. We are hooked to the bad news. The emotion that it gets out of us. It's just like when you're watching your favorite sporting event. It's the same thing. And the more it goes on, bro, it's just the worse it's gonna get. Like, people, you see those shows like Black Mirror, where people are just filming all the time, and that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
Yep.
Like, what I'm saying? Like, we saw a guy in 2020 lose his life on camera.
Like you said, it's a gift and a curse, man. Gift and a curse.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as bad as it was the talking point until now. It's still a form of press and entertainment for some people.
And I think it's contributed in part to our division as a society. I mean, we're probably more divided than ever.
Yeah.
We're constantly looking for something to, I don't know, satisfy us or make us feel better about ourselves. And it's just splitting us further and further apart.
Right. Right.
So, the beauty about life is that, we're all different. And if we're constantly just staying in our own little bubbles, I mean, that's not going to change the world. That's not going to make anybody better.
Nah.
So when you're connecting with other people, you don't understand them. They don't understand you, but you actually have these conversations. Man, it can go a long, long, long ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I love talking to people who I've never talked to in my life.
Right.
Like, those are the conversations that I enjoy, because it's like, in the first few minutes, it's like a boxing match where you're trying to figure each other out. You don't want to step on any toes. And then, once you get started, okay, now you can have a nice back and forth. And I don't enjoy talking to the people that are very stuck in their ways, but I still talk to them anyway, because it's important that you still try. And you're not going to change everybody in this world. There's a lot of people that are still stuck in that mindset of, I'm white, you're black, you need to stay over there, and I'll stay on my side, and we don't need to mingle, and you'll never change their minds. But if you can be able to do your part and speak to more people that are willing to listen, man, you don't know the wonders that you can be able to do in this world, man. Like, if you only change one kid's life after speaking to 10 of them, man, you did your job. You did your job.
Yep.
And like you said, even a conversation, if that person take one word from what you said in that conversation, they be like, "Oh, he was right." They might think about it a couple of days down the road, but like, you know what that young man said was definitely right. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, I change somebody's mind. That's why I never be afraid of a conversation. Never.
All right, bro. So what do y'all think is gonna happen with what is the charges, Bryson, for the cop, the lady cop?
Man, I saw that on my phone earlier today.
Was it second degree
I think it
manslaughter?
was just manslaughter.
Manslaughter?
Yeah.
So,
Second degree manslaughter.
second degree. So that comes with a what? That comes with a what? A 3 to 5 or something?
It's not long. Not long.
Yeah.
Like 2 years maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But like you said earlier, and I was having a conversation with my wife, was like, it's more or less of the pension. Like, she resigned or whatever. And I was telling her, like, yeah, if you resigned and getting fired, like, you still get to keep your pension and all that other stuff. So
That was my whole thing in regards to how they handle it. And I was telling Mike about, you know, that blue wall, you know, that protection is like, okay, cool. I know you screwed up, but I'm still gonna protect your pension.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then he made the point of saying, oh, well, you know, how does one mistake, you know, ruin your whole life? Well, talk to all the people that are on death row and in jail.
That's every day. What are you talking about? Like,
for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
change your life. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's the unfair world that we live in, but that's the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
So I think she do a couple months, man, like 9 months, maybe a year.
Yeah, I don't see. Honestly, bro, I would be shocked. This is like I said, this is just me being cynical and pessimistic, that I don't even think she does time. I think it all depends on who her lawyers are, because, you know, people got to remember about lawyers, and lawyers are very funny. Lawyers are not there to prove your innocence. They're there to provide. They're there to spin a narrative to make the jury believe that you're innocent.
Thanks.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's it.
That's their job. Is their job is not to say, hey, listen, I believe that this guy's innocent. Their job is to spin it to make you feel.
They're good at it.
And they're very good at it. They're very good at it.
But they get paid the bucks, man. But like we were saying, back to social media and everything, I got it on camera, man. So I think that makes it should make it a lot easier. But as we see with the George Floyd case, it's like it shouldn't take 14 days. You got on camera. It's been over a year. Like, you had yourself analyze the video yourself. Like, everyone at home can figure out, you know, what the verdict should be, but it shouldn't take 14 days, definitely.
Listen, they have all these quack doctors that are coming on for the defense, and I'm just like,
that's what I was literally about to say. Is
oh
yeah,
my
I mean, the defense that he died because he had drugs in his system. I asked a simple question: do you believe on May 26th George Floyd wakes up in the morning? If the encounter never had, it's like,
exactly.
Come on,
exactly.
We're not done. Let's use.
He would have been high as shit, and he would have woke up the next morning and probably went to go to another store to go get something. Who knows? But he would have been alive to do what the hell he wanted to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for them to say, I think the cop, not the cop, the doctor today, retired doctor, he said that according to the studies, having your knee on somebody's neck does not restrict the air passage. I'm just like,
What?
I'm like, yo, have you ever been on your stomach and somebody like jumps on you, or
it hurts. It knocks the breath out of you.
They stand on your back, like after a couple of, after like 30 seconds or so, you're like, yo, get off me, man. Like, I can't breathe.
That's why
You know what I'm saying?
That's why he retired, man.
Right, and that's light. Like, that's just somebody playing with you. Imagine being cuffed on the concrete with somebody that got their foot on your neck or their knee on your neck, and you, like,
Right.
What I keep thinking about is what was probably going through his mind. Like, as he was realizing, yo, I'm not going home, bro.
Yeah, that one deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
That's so tough, man.
like I'm not going home. Like and when he cried out mama.
That was tough. That was the most heartbreaking part.
Bro, you knew that he knew he wasn't going home.
Listen, when you cry mama, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I think about that right now, son. I'm just like, yo, he like when you know you're gonna die, like what type of feeling is that, son? Like just like Kobe Bryant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he knew that everybody in this plane was gone. And what was he like? What was his mindset? Like, what did he do? Like, did he hug Gigi? Did he hug the others? Did they all just kind of like huddle together? I don't know. But like that thought process of knowing that you are not going to be here in a matter of minutes or seconds. Like that in itself, if I was on that jury, I don't need to hear anymore. Like, yeah, I don't need to hear no more. I don't need to hear any more defense cases, no cross-examinations. I'm good. Right. I've heard enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like go back to the union stuff. Like the sad part is they got to get defended as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as lawyers and stuff like that.
And that's the point that I was making with the unions, John, is that us as just regular hardworking people, we ain't worried about no unions. You just waking up every day, you going to work. It's the people that slack off, that screw up, that they need the shield, they need the protection. That's why unions are there. Right. Unions are not there for hardworking people that do what they gotta do and don't screw up. It's really not.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
So, you're crazy, man.
Change, man. We just change, man. It's
change.
We don't have the answers, but
word exactly.
That's the tough part about it.
Yeah.
There's no definitive answer.
Right. Yeah. Like a little, and also like everybody's on the same page. Like every state have to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem is that we don't have a universal system. Everything is state by state. So 10 states can go ahead and reform their department and do the right things, and then everybody else won't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just what is the answer? How do we fix this? It's so much more difficult than we actually know. It really is. Like, it's so systemic in regards to the problems. I kind of look at the police department, honestly, like our electrical systems. The reason why I say that is because our electrical systems are above ground when they actually should be below ground to kind of help with weather and stuff like that. And I think does England have that, or some other country? Like their stuff is down, like underneath. Like they don't have like electrical, poles and stuff like that. Like everything is down bottom, and it's easy to say, yeah, we need to switch it from up top to down bottom, but how long is it going to take? How much change is needed? How much communication and cooperation is needed from state to state to be able to figure this out? It's so deep-rooted and complicated that it's not an easy fix.
That's it. It's been there so long, too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's been there, just like the police did. Everything has been there so long. They've done things their way for so long. How do you change it? And do we have the right people in power in certain places to change that? That's the problem, is that one administration can't change the world. But what they can do is start it. They can start the process. Like next administration, because this thing is cyclical, they need to continue it. What we have in this country, the problem is that one regime will start something, and then if they don't get back in, we just got to cut everything up.
Right, they cut it up, right?
Like clockwork.
There has to be a better system than that, and it's like, we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, the greatest place in the world, but our democracy is a mess, fellas. It's a mess.
Yep.
And it's not just recently. It's not over the last 10 years, 12 years. It's been like this for a long time. And
you just gotta just look in the mirror and start with yourself. I say that, man.
yeah, that's right. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to change everybody overnight, but you can definitely change the person in the mirror. So,
It's a better person. Be a better person. Like
well
you said,
said,
if you
well said.
reach somebody else, then that's cool. But start with yourself. No matter the color, the race, whatever. Start with yourself for sure.
Nah, definitely, man. Definitely. But, yo, I appreciate y'all for coming on here, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Always.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Respect to y'all.
All right, man.